Oh. Is the volume turned back up?
Yeah.
Okay. And if we need to readjust it during, we can.
Let's make sure, let's have somebody tell us if they take it.
Yes. Can someone speak on Zoom one more time?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Sounds good to me.
Well,
What's that?
Can somebody hear me?
May just have to shout it more.
Yeah, you might, I think it's.
Yes.
Oh, good, good. I think it'll pick up off of these here, and it might not actually, I don't know. That might be a separate device, that microphone there. Sounds good, so, all right. Well, Secretary Udebank, will you please call the roll?
All right. Nathan Scott,
Here.
Connor Peters,
Here.
Lauren Gladby,
Here.
Darren Doyle,
Here.
I'm here. Peyton McCoy,
Here.
Jackson Connors, Luke Armstrong, Catherine Thompson,
Here.
Dawson Schwansler,
Here.
and Brad Chance,
Here.
Charlie Saunderson,
Here.
Jan Martin, okay.
What was the name?
Jane Martin, she
Okay.
won't be here.
Okay.
She's not expected today.
Okay.
Right, well, it appears we do meet quorum, so I call this meeting to order at 11:11 a.m. We will look to adopt the minutes without objection. Seeing no objections, we will adopt the minutes. Now we'll look to adopt the agenda for today without objection. Seeing none, we will adopt the agenda. We'll be moving on to reports. I don't believe Hannah Berry is here, is that correct? All right, we'll be moving on to my report. So in my new capacity as vice president, I don't have much to report. However, this meeting follows an e-board meeting that we had later or earlier this week, excuse me. And during that meeting, we briefly spoke with President Kennedy, our team did. And she gave some useful insights into what next fall might look like for this campus COVID-wise. And COVID has been characterized by uncertainty, but I think it is more than likely that that we can reasonably expect on-campus traffic to increase in the fall. And so with that increase in traffic, the needs of the student body will also increase. So I'd really like our Senate to be representative of that student body so that we can adequately address those needs. So if you have any friends here on campus who are passionate about serving their peers, please let them know that we'd like them to join our Senate. And that concludes my report. Are there any questions? Seeing none, we will move on to the president's report.
hello, everyone. So this is the first set of this session, and so that's exciting. It's great to see this new year start getting going. I mean, we have so many plans, so many exciting, driven people in this organization for this next year, and I'm so excited to get started in doing the work of the students and doing the work of trying to make SGA what every student wants it to be, and trying to just serve the students as well as we can and fulfill the trust that's been given to us from the students. So there's not a ton to report today. Again, we have met with all our director of paint. I think that's how you say kind of like the senator-elect or whatever. But we've talked to who we believe is an amazing team for this next year, and I'm so excited to see them come into this role. So you'll see that they have been appointed in today's legislation. But besides that, that's kind of been the primary focus of this administration so far, and we're ready to get off the ground running. We'll basically have everyone introduced in just a little bit, but besides that, hasn't been much going on. So, yeah.
Any questions for President Scott? Including those on Zoom? All right, then, we will move on to new business. Our first piece of new business is Senate Bill Fiscal Year 22-01, an MWSU Senate Bill to approve the MWSU SGA Constitution. Whereas the student body has approved the Constitution and the Constitution serves as a governing document for SGA. Therefore, we, the Student Government Association of Missouri Western State University, hereby enact to approve the MWSU SGA Constitution. And therefore, let it be finally enacted that copies of this bill shall be sent to Nathan Scott, SGA President, and Dr. Hannah Piasky, Dean of Students, for signature. Sponsorship speech by President Scott.
Hello, everyone. So again, this is a kind of procedural, ceremonial kind of thing. This basically just shows that this new Senate, acknowledges the Constitution as the document that governs the SGA and the student body. And so I endorse the Constitution, I guess.
Any questions for President Scott? Are there any speeches of affirmation or negation? All right.
So probably should explain it to, usually there's a first reading, then you have a week, then you have a second reading, but since it's approving the Constitution, we'll unanimous consent it, and if anyone, it's basically passes if anyone doesn't object to it. So I move to unanimous consent.
Are there any objections to Senator Shank's request for unanimous consent? Seeing none, Secretary Udovenko, would you please move forward with the roll call vote?
Oh, right. Nathan Thompson, Senator Thompson,
Yeah, Senator Thompson, can you hear us?
Oh, yes, sorry.
You're okay. So we're doing a roll call vote here on the first piece of legislation. Senator Shanks requested unanimous consent. And so we'll be going through the list of senators and getting the yay or nay. So you are first on the list. What is your vote?
Yay.
all right. Senator Schmutzler,
My vote is yay.
Senator Shanks,
Yay.
Senator Anderson,
Yay.
Senator Martin is absent.
All right, that does pass. Our next piece of new business is Senate Bill Fiscal Year 22-02, an MWSU Senate bill to approve the MWSU SGA bylaws and the SGA policies and procedures. Whereas the bylaws, policies, and procedures serve as governing documents for the SGA, and the SGA follows the guidelines set forth in the bylaws, policies, and procedures. Therefore, we, the Student Government Association of Missouri Western State University, hereby enact to approve the MWSU SGA bylaws and the SGA policies and procedures. Therefore, let it be finally enacted that a copy of this bill shall be sent to Nathan Scott, SGA President, and Dr. Hannah Piasky, Dean of Students, for signature. Sponsorship speech by President Scott.
So again, this is as kind of ceremonial piece of legislation saying that we recognize the basically laws of the Student Government Association. So I think there's much more that needs to be said on that. I endorse this piece of legislation.
Are there any questions for President Scott? Speeches of affirmation or negation?
I also move for unanimous consent on this bill.
Are there any objections to Senator Shank's request for unanimous consent? All right, seeing none, Secretary Udovenko, would you please proceed with the roll call vote?
Sure. Senator Thompson,
Yay.
Senator Schmutzler,
Yay.
Senator Shanks,
Yay.
Senator Anderson,
Yay.
unanimous consent.
That does pass. Sorry for your ears, dear.
That's fine.
I'm kind of gavel happy today. I'm embracing the role.
It's okay, you gotta test it out, take it for a drive, it's fine.
Yeah.
Could have been worse than Nathan's first time.
Yeah, I heard last night from Vice President Reed about that. Our next piece of new business is Senate Bill Fiscal Year 22-03. An MWSU Senate Bill to confirm the removal of Army Udovenko from the 2021-2022 MWSU SGA Senate. Whereas he has been appointed to a different role within SGA by the SGA President. Therefore, let it be finally enacted that a copy of this bill shall be sent to Nathan Scott, SGA President, and Dr. Hannah Piaski, Dean of Students, for signature. May I please get a sponsorship speech from President Scott?
Yeah, get him out of here. That's nice.
Are there any questions for President Scott?
Could you real quick clarify why Army is not voting on legislation today, even though he is a senator up until this moment?
Yes, so the reason why that would be the case is because of a law that was, or either a rule or something that was added into the codex of laws of SGA that basically makes it to where any senator that is either, resign and we need to confirm their resignation, or if they're removed for, not, disqualification, they no longer count towards quorum, and, are not basically counted as a senator in that meeting, pending the adjudication of either yay or nay on accepting their resignation or other disqualification.
Thank you.
I'll also add that Army has been appointed as our Chief of Staff and Secretary of the Senate. Are there any speeches of affirmation or negation?
I support it.
Are there any other speeches of affirmation or any speeches of negation?
I'd like to move to unanimous consent, this one as well.
Are there any objections to the request for unanimous consent from Senator Shanks? Seeing none, Secretary Udovenko, please proceed with the roll call vote.
Senator Thompson,
Yay.
Senator Smutzler,
Yay.
Senator Shanks,
Aye.
Senator Anderson,
Yay.
That does pass.
Oh, Luke Armstrong is voting.
Yeah. Right. Can you hear us, Luke? Else can hear, so I would hope so. Our next piece of new business, Bill Fiscal Year 22-04. An MWSU Senate bill to the appointment of Director of Public Relations, Director of Finance, Director of Student Involvement, Student Director of External Relations, and Director of Groups Give Back, as well as the Chief of Staff and Secretary of the Senate to the 2020-2022 MWSU SGA Executive. Whereas the SGA President has appointed Darren Doyle as Director of Public Relations and Marketing, Tate McCoy as Director of Finance, Lauren Bloodgood as Director of Student Involvement, Jackson Connors as Student Director of External Relations, Luke Armstrong as Director of Groups Give Back, and Arby Udovenko as Chief of Staff and Secretary of the Senate. And whereas they all meet the requirements for their positions. Therefore, we, the Student Government Association of Missouri Western State University, hereby enact to confirm the appointment of Darren Doyle as Director of Public Relations and Marketing, Tate McCoy as Director of Finance, Lauren Bloodgood as Director of Student Involvement, Jackson Connors as Student Director of External Relations, Luke Armstrong as Director of Groups Give Back, and Arby Udovenko as Chief of Staff and Secretary of the Senate to the 2021-2022 MWSU SGA Executive Board. Therefore, let it also be enacted that copies of this bill shall be sent to Nathan Scott, SGA President, and Dr. Hannah Piaski, Dean of Students, for signature. Therefore, let it be finally enacted that a signed copy be sent to Dr. Elizabeth Kennedy, University President. Sponsorship speech by President Scott.
Well, this was this is the result of quite a long and painstaking process of going through a multiplicity of candidates. These appointees are all outstanding people in their and what they bring to Missouri Western's SGA. And so I couldn't be more excited to have them on the team. They are great, awesome people, and I know that they're going to be awesome in this role. And I'm going to actually yield my time by kind of one by one to have our new appointees just say hi, just a little bit about themselves, and then have them move back. So I guess I'm just going to have a list. The first one is Darren Roll.
Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Darren. I'm really excited to get to work. This is something that I really want to do in the long run. I am majoring in sport management. I eventually look to do something similar to what I'm doing for SGA, but in the sports world. But I'm very passionate, very happy to be around some familiar faces that I used to be around at one point. So I'm excited to get to work.
Any questions for Director of Public Relations, Darren Doyle? All right, our next candidate on the list is Tate McCoy, Director of Finance.
So I guess in the SGA world, I'm kind of a dinosaur. I've been on FOC for a long time, and I guess now it's my time to control it. That's what you get for giving time to me.
Are there any questions for Director of Finance, Tate McCoy? All right, next is Lauren Bloodgood, Director of Student Involvement.
Hi, I'm new here, so this is new, very new. I'm Lauren, nice to meet everybody. I'm a biology major and I'm excited. I like to talk to people usually. So this seems like a fun position and I'm excited.
All right.
That's it.
And fortunately, Student Director of External Relations, Jackson Connors, can't be with us right now. So we'll move on to Luke Armstrong, Director of Griff's Give Back. Luke, if you'd like to introduce us.
Hi, yeah, so I was fortunate to be able to be in this position this past year, and all it did was make me more passionate for it. So I'm really excited to be able to do it again next year. And I have some really exciting plans that I want to get done. So thank you so much.
Any questions for Director of Griff's Give Back, Luke Armstrong? All right, finally, our Chief of Staff and Secretary of the Senate, Army Ubenko.
Hi, everyone. My name is Archie. Yes. And I'm majoring in management and business. For the next year, I'll be your Secretary of the Senate and Chief of Staff as well.
All right, are there any questions for Chief of Staff and Secretary of the Senate, Army Ubenko? Are there any speeches of affirmation or negation for this legislation? Just right. Seeing none.
I'd like to move for unanimous consent.
Are there any objections to Senator Shank's request for unanimous consent? All right, Secretary Ubenko, please proceed with the roll call vote.
Senator Thompson,
Yay.
Senator Schmutzler,
Yay.
Senator Shanks,
Aye.
Senator Anderson.
Yay.
That does pass. For our final piece of new business, Senate Resolution Fiscal Year 22-01. An MWSU Senate resolution to thank Nathan Scott and Ariana Reed, 2020-2021 SGA President and Executive Vice President, as well as Brianna Reed, Chief of Staff and Secretary of the Senate, Connor Peters, Director of Public Relations and Marketing, Jashira Bolden, Director of Student Involvement, Connor Busick, Student Director of External Relations, Luke Armstrong, Director of Griff's Give Back, and Sean Peters, Director of Finance, for their leadership and service throughout the 2020-2021 term. Whereas SGA thrived under their initiative despite unparalleled challenges introduced by the COVID-19 pandemic, and whereas they worked strenuously on behalf of the students of Missouri Western and the university as a whole And whereas they have advanced the common purposes of SGA, which will allow this administration and future administrations to succeed. Therefore, we, the Student Government Association of Missouri Western State University, hereby resolve to thank Nathan Scott and Ariana Reed, 2020-2021 SGA President and Executive Vice President, as well as Brianna Reed, Connor Peters, Jashira Bolden, Connor Busick, Luke Armstrong, and Sean Peters for their leadership and service throughout the 2020-2021 term. Therefore, let it be finally resolved that copies of this resolution shall be sent to Nathan Scott, SGA President, and Dr. Hannah Piaski, Dean of Students, for signature, and a copy of this resolution shall be sent to the aforementioned individuals. We'll get a sponsorship speech from President Scott.
Oh, so I'm presenting on that. This is kind of weird, especially because I'm already signing my own thing. So, so real quick, just so you know, these sponsorship speeches, these are, all these normally come from the president, but this is kind of a tradition that happens, every year, and the new presidents usually, but I'm the same president, so, but by the way, the real thing is thanking our entire team from last year. The entire team did like an amazing job, and I could not be more grateful for just the time and the energy that they all put into it. They all were fantastic, and we did a lot to serve the students, and I'm just incredibly proud of everyone. And it was a very, very good year, and I'm eternally grateful for all the work that they've been able to do. So I'll put it at that.
Are there any questions for President Scott? Are there any speeches of affirmation or negation?
To perhaps relieve Nathan's guilty conscience, I'd like to just speak about this past year and the executive board. It is hard to truly capture the work that they have done, and it is truly hard to express gratitude in the way in which you all deserve. You all have been patient, you all have been flexible, and you all have dealt with more challenges than you should have. And I haven't cried yet, but there are 4 of you that are leaving that are going to make me cry at some point. I am so proud of our graduating seniors. I'm so proud of what all of you have done. You all were fierce in advocating for the students of Missouri Western this past year. They needed advocates, and they needed people that were going to fight for what is healthy and safe for them. And Brett, you're kind of included in that as well, because you did a lot. So thank you all, beyond what Nathan said. Thank you all from your advisor, and thank you all from the faculty and staff of Missouri Western.
That's awesome. Are there any other speeches of affirmation? I do have a quick word. So I'd of course like to mirror everything in this resolution. Thank you, President Scott, for allowing me to grow within SGA. Thank you to our now former Vice President, Ariana Reed, for preparing me for this position, as well as being a great leader last school year. Thanks to the whole E-Board for all of your hard work, and especially working with me and being patient with me, as this was my first year in SGA. And then also thank you to my brother Sean. Without you, I wouldn't be in Griffin.
We can vote for unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Secretary Udovenko, please proceed with the roll call vote.
Senator Thompson,
Yay.
Senator Sponsler,
Yay.
Senator Shanks,
Aye.
Senator Anderson,
Yay.
That does pass. All right, that concludes our new business. Does anyone have any topics for open discussion?
I haven't done a open discussion. So seeing as there is an absence of a parliamentarian, I believe that it is in order for the chair to look to elect a parliamentarian.
All right, what does that look like? Is that something that we would vote on, or a nomination and look for?
Take nomination and vote.
Yeah, so
All right.
you declare an election and then ask for any nominations and then.
All right, well, I'm officially declaring an election for our parliamentarian for this term, fiscal year 22. Are there any nominations?
Cannot nominate me.
No. Just like a weird thing to do, but I guess I'll nominate myself since he won't do it.
If I could nominate you, I would.
Thank you.
It has to be the senator.
Do you even have the ability to nominate people?
Oh, yeah,
Senators have to nominate.
You have to sit in the back.
And this did occur in August of the last school year, so if we do not get any nominations today, we'll get one at the beginning of the school year.
You nominate yourself.
Yeah, I said it.
All
Nominate myself.
All right, Senator Shanks has nominated himself for parliamentarian. How do we proceed, President Scott?
I would recommend the chair consider if there's any other nominations, or if not, if there's no other nominations, then you can declare no contest, but.
All right. Are there any other nominations for parliamentarian for fiscal year 22? All right, what was the term that you used?
No contest.
No contest, therefore, I am declaring a no contest a vote. So therefore, Senator Shanks, you are our parliamentarian for fiscal year 22.
I will.
Does anyone have any topics for open discussion for today? All right, seeing none, are there any announcements?
Congrats on making it through the semester, you all.
Yes, great
So
job.
I'm not out of the weeds yet.
Congrats on making it through classes. You got this.
All right. Seeing no announcements, I will now look for a motion to adjourn.
I'd actually like to talk about that we say a bunch of fancy words here to get this, but basically it's so we can meet over the summer if need be. And that would be unanimous consent for it, and I'll quit say the fancy words now. I ask for unanimous consent that at the end of today's business, the Senate will adjourn until such time as the presiding officer deems it proper to reconvene. And such time, including over the summer, they shall be able to reconvene with 5 business days written notice.
All right. Are there any objections to that point of unanimous consent?
So ordered.
All right, so ordered. This meeting is adjourned at 11.
And seeing no further business, ask for unanimous consent to be adjourned under the previous orders.
All right, seeing no objections, this meeting is adjourned at 11:38 a.m. We're done.
Never do that again.
We can meet over the summer.